Hello, YouTube peers, and welcome to episode 20 of What Did You Miss? Today we have, I think, 13 highlights for us to go over. Let's go over them as far as when they were chronologically compiled. So, on December 9th, I spent some time working on Auto Scroll Coin Collecting 17. Took me about 2 hours to work on that. I believe this may have been when I was clear checking. No, I clear checked later on a separate stream. So I spent another 2 hours just I don't know, tinkering with the idea of nerfing the level, but I didn't actually nerf it. But we do have a clear video highlight. I actually experimented with some nerf ideas, and they weren't really working out. So if you see this highlight with the 2 hours and 8 minutes, or 9 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever it is, if you see this highlight and you're wondering if the level is exactly the same, it is. I'm pretty sure when I stopped streaming there, I didn't make any more changes. I tried making some changes, just the proposed changes didn't work out. Obviously, these big munchers are still on the level. In fact, you can see them from the final level thumbnail. And I think it really makes the spacing on these cannons really quite interesting, personally. But yeah, that was just me tweaking that part with the reset. It's kind of an optional reset. You don't have to use that door. It's mainly intended for the very first gauntlet that you enter, with the auto scroll gauntlet through the first door. It's intended to make the Hammer Bros easier to deal with. If you feel like you can't risk grabbing a coin on a certain cycle, then just don't. Just take the reset door and you'll be fine. That does come with a caveat, I suppose you could say, because you technically destroy the auto scroll or the scroll lock integrity of the first room. So what ends up happening is if you were to try to go through the red pipe, for example, and then go into the green pipe, the screen would scroll on you. So getting to the end might be more difficult because you would want to go into the green pipe, and then in the second zone you go into the green pipe next to it in order to get to the end. Right here, you might not be able to do that. It might scroll too fast for you to be able to run over there and get into the red pipe. If that's the case, then you're going to have to go through both of the auto-scroll gauntlets over again, which might be a little bit scary for some people that are worried about the swamp parkour or the hammer bro brawling. So, anyway, that's not the highlight that's actually next, believe it or not, Twitch. Anyway, so I had a lot of fun building that level, and so if you guys want to see some development of that, you can check that highlight out. I might have spent some time developing it on or off stream. You can try checking for other highlights of that as well if you want. Anyway, moving forward, I did an art stream also. This is all stuff that happened this week. I don't know how great this drawing is. I just basically drew the fire from the actual game rather than drawing a sign version of the fire, because honestly I'm not sure what that would even look like, but I did draw it on a sign, so kind of weird, I know. But anyway, this is an emote that I decided to go with. It doesn't really have any transparency inside of the emote, which most of my emotes do, but this is a fully square emote, and set on the background we have the wall of whatever you call that, the stuff, spookstone background, right? Anyway, I think it turned out okay. It actually is kind of a little bit pixely, kind of like the Niblet emote, which is fine, because now we have another emote that looks more pixely. If that's the right word, I feel like that's the wrong word, but whatever. Anyways, so next we have a clear video for Auto Scroll Coin Collecting 7. Because why not? I mean, after all, it's a difficult level. I guess it features a little bit of me dying or something. Or maybe me pausing the game. I was pausing, I bet. Anyway, it took me almost 7 minutes to clear it. And then, of course, we're showing proof that it's the uploaded version by getting the code at the end. Anyway, next highlight we have 7-B The High Ground by Azelfeo. So this guy made a Star Wars reference in the title and description. The description, I think, was Mario themed or something. It has a really funny ending where if you hold duck, you survive because of the plant. But if you don't hold duck, then you get wrecked by the plant, which is pretty interesting. Anyway, so at the beginning of this highlight, I've already played this level for more than 30 minutes and died 19 times. So this has been a challenge. But yeah, it wasn't like absolutely one of the hardest levels ever. It was just a bit on the long side. So I didn't mind playing it. It was a bit loud for my preference, I have to say, but other than that, it was a pretty fun level. I enjoyed it. Anyways, it actually has a checkpoint in it, but it was like really deep into the level. It was, yeah, here we go. You go into that clear pipe and there it is. Blah, blah, blah. Anyway, yeah, if you want to check out that highlight, it's a pretty fun, fiery, crazy 3D world level. Like, it's sometimes you're cat, sometimes you're not, blah, blah, blah. There's quite a bit of difficult moves, and there's even some creepers to make sure it's in super expert. Anyway, I like to joke about all you have to do to make a level super expert in 3D world is just throw in a few creepers. I mean, it's kind of true. Alright. Then we have me spending about an hour on another really long level. This one's from a viewer, rather than just a random level that I was trying to first clear, like that last highlight was. This guy's called Mr. Greggy Spike, as it says is written here, because he submitted the level. We've also got the death tracker here too, repeating the code, so you can confirm it's the same level. Going to speed and played is the one that's on the viewer level list. That's not always the case. Sometimes these won't line up for whatever reason. Like maybe I forget to skip, or I'm just, I don't know, whatever. Anyways, or forget to go to the next level. Anyway, there could be other reasons too, but we don't really need to get into that. It's not really important. I die there, blah, blah, blah. I have to say, I pretty regularly give Mario Maker follows, but the people that follow me don't typically watch my channel, so I don't know why they're bothering to follow me. I might end up removing a bunch of Mario Maker viewers. Like, even like people like Mr. Greggy Spike, they probably only show up to my channel when I actually get rated. If I don't get rated, nobody cares. People forget I exist. They don't realize I'm streaming, even though they're following me. It's like, okay, why are you following me if you don't actually recognize that I'm streaming when I am? It's like kind of pointless. You guys need to manage your follow lists better if you actually enjoy watching my content. Just saying. Anyway, there are a lot of interesting boss fights in this level. There's quite a variety of them. It made it feel a lot like a Metroid game. So, and I did compliment him about that. I told him it felt the most like a Metroid game compared to the other levels that he's built, because I've played quite a few of his already. I want to say at least 2 or 3 of them, but I don't really know how many exactly. I didn't really go through his profile during that stream, so. Anyway, next highlight we have a level that only took me about 3 minutes to beat, 3 or 4 minutes. Anyway, this one was Yeah, the death tracker says 302, but you probably want to tack on at least another 10 seconds to that. Anyway, it was a pretty standard level. Just had a really tight timer to it. Well, I say pretty standard, but it isn't really that standard. It's just like a short standard level. Yeah, like pretty basic, pretty short. It seemed pretty original, so I went ahead and gave it the heart. Anyway, it actually has a really tight timer, so it's harder than it appears. Anyway, if you watch me play that closely enough, it shouldn't be too hard for you to clear it as well. Then we have another level by random maker. I say random, but it's just somebody that made something in 3D World that didn't get cleared yet and super expert. So this level is pretty weird. I guess it was a troll level or something. I don't know. Anyway, it didn't take me very many deaths. Only died 3 times on it, so I beat it on my 4th try, in other words. Apparently I gave it a like. I guess it wasn't an unfair troll level. Anyway, or at least not particularly so. Then we have another level. This one was from a guy. Okay, so sometimes when I get first clears on a course, like the maker kind of makes an impression with me. Sometimes it's because I think their level is really good. Other times it might just be because they started playing some of my levels and liking them. In this case, it might have been a mix of both. In any case, this guy definitely commented on some of my levels, and I wanted to try out one of his levels that hadn't been cleared yet, and that's what this was. And it took me about 20 minutes, I think, to beat it. Yeah. There was this difficult boss fight through it. This boss fight was very cleverly built. It was one of the best boss fights I've played in Mario Maker 2, actually, for what it's worth. The rest of the level was kind of average, but there wasn't anything wrong with the rest of the level, I suppose. I'm not sure. Maybe there were some minor things not really worth complaining about. I don't know, but anyway, yeah, and then we touched the goal. So yeah, quite a few deaths. Definitely a vicious, endless challenge run ender level, but fun level though. Then we have this December 12th Powerball event. Okay, yeah, so this is just me highlighting almost the entire stream, just the very beginning and the very end are trimmed off. I'm just playing level head here, just building, and playtesting, and you're supposed to spend about an hour building this. I spent more like 2 hours, but yeah, yeah, I went over a little overtime, but I spent a lot of time playtesting and decorating, and fixing mistakes, so it's fine. Anyway, plus I was doing two different halves of the levels that kind of took a big chunk out of the playtime. Anyway, what was I saying? Let's see here. Okay, so we have okay, I should talk about this a little bit more instead of just presenting the highlight and expecting you guys to watch the whole thing to figure out what's going on. Basically, this is just a repeat of use package for gem 0, or a sequel to it. So basically, I started a series in Levelhead. I hadn't done that yet, technically speaking, as far as like having a number attached to the name of the series of levels that gets that identical name. It's just another different number at the end of each one. So this is the second level in a series in Levelhead, and since it was a new series, I figured I might as well start referencing some Mario Maker 2 content. So On this particular course in the series, we're actually referencing the coin grab gauntlet from Super Mario Maker 2. And interestingly enough, just last night, Pyrenix checked out the coin grab gauntlet for the very first time. Uh, I gave him my Maker code, and he just picked something that was like 9% and didn't realize how hard it was. Because, you also have to balance in like how long the level is along with the clear check rate. But anyway, also another factor is just he's a lot newer at the game compared to Levelhead, so even though 9% might be really easy for him Levelhead, he's also been playing Levelhead for like 2 years plus, so that's kind of a big deal. So once he realized his noobishness at Mario Maker 2, I think he understood that he stands a better chance at different clear rate levels, blah blah blah. Anyway, it was a pretty interesting experience. Yeah, it was a boomerang brawler, so you get to fight with a particular power up that has a unique attack, which I thought was really cool. Anyway, so this level was kind of like hard mode, just adds some extra enemies, and then easy mode has like the extra blocks that you have to destroy at the end to get to the goal. And then other than that, there's like no difference between easy and hard mode, other than like the portal colors. I made the portal colors the same, as well as I drew the easy and the hard the same way. As I did in Mario Maker 2. So I'll definitely have to make a playlist of the series when I'm done building all 10 levels, I guess. Or I suppose I could start on this playlist now and just start adding levels to it or something, because apparently that's something you can do. Anyway, there's no need to do it right now during this YouTube video. I'll do it after the video is over. So this highlight was basically me starting Palin's story. He's from the first game, he was the little black mage boy, and now he's like grown up a bit. I think he might still be a teenager or something. I'm not really sure how old he is. He could be in his 20s or 30s. Who knows how old he is? It doesn't really matter. Yeah, the point is they're mages, so they're not going to be big people. They're small people. Diminutive like I am. I'm a small person. I'm only 5'7", and I'm really lightweight, blah, blah, blah. So in that regard, I can kind of relate to him as a mage, but in a lot of ways, I'm not really relating to him all that much. He's a pretty interesting character. You learn a lot about his personality during this story. I get the feeling that a lot of these early stories are just character building, and then like I assume that the stories get more epic later on. At least I certainly hope they do, because these stories are pretty short, and there's not really all that much happening in them. But anyways, I do think that the story progression is pretty solid. Like, I'm not getting lost or anything in these games, which is good. Battle progression is a little bit annoying and potentially tedious, but whatever. Anyway, yeah, so he's actually training somebody to use black magic. The weird thing about the story there is he says he's trying to become a sage, but I guess his like some sort of like mage overlord or whatever is telling him that he's not ready to be a sage yet. And then apparently to become a sage you have to be skilled at both black and white magic, like Tella was from the first Final Fantasy IV, because he was a sage. Anyway, an ironic thing is, Lydia knew white and black magic at the beginning of Final Fantasy IV, but then she lost her white magic and was able to summon monsters instead, which was interesting. Anyway, yeah, so I don't know what's up with that. Maybe it's just game balance reasons, and it just isn't explained in the story, but I don't know, whatever. Anyway, so the weird thing about Palin's story right now is he doesn't seem like he's trying to learn white magic, even though he's teaching a white mage how to use black magic. It just seems weird. Like, he's just being the teacher and not a student right now, and I don't really understand why he's not. But anyway, maybe he's not like emotionally ready to be a student. Anyway, the next highlight. So we have a Mario Maker 2 highlight. This was me working on Red Coin Collecting 21. So I spent some time playtesting and fixing this level, blah blah blah. This was only 4 days ago, so this might have been. But yeah, and I also worked on Red Coin Collecting 22. So I ended up, I think I may have clear checked this off stream. Yeah, I probably did. It wasn't too incredibly hard in my opinion. I sent it to a streamer, one that I usually don't send levels to. Well, technically I didn't send it to her. She just chose it when I gave her the maker code. I guess she was curious what hard level I made after Builder 2 Gauntlet. Not that I think that was a great decision, but I guess she just wanted to show off my newest stuff for the viewers. Anyways, maybe she felt like with 3 minutes she couldn't beat any of my levels, but that was probably not entirely accurate. But at the same time, do you really want to just beat an easy 3-minute level for the last 3 minutes of your stream? Questionable. So I can't really fault her for her decision, blah blah blah. Anyway, what were we doing? Anyway, I'm glad I decided to follow the person because she asked us if we had any levels that we'd want her to play. I wasn't following the person because they were doing such short streams. I figured it's kind of a waste of time to send my levels to them, right? But maybe there's just like maybe she's just seasonally busy. Maybe like later on in the year she won't be so busy during a stream, so it might be worth following her. Blah blah blah, whatever. I don't know. Anyway, even if it's just for some networking, I don't mind following. So we'll just see what happens moving forward. So this Red Coin Collecting 22, or what is presumed to be 22, because another level might jump in its place. I honestly don't care which number this one is. But anyway, this is a level that I'm pretty pleasant. I'm very pleased with the direction that it's going right now. It's basically intended to be a Yoshi coin collecting level, or red coin collecting level, I should say. And I've had a bunch of ideas bouncing around in my head for what to do on this level. And so there's going to be some drastic changes as I build it, probably, or some not so drastic changes. Anyway, and I definitely am trying to like add like an auto scroll section to Zone 1, like I've been doing for a lot of these levels that are like this, and shove the challenges on Zone 2. So that's kind of the direction that we're going right now. So there's things like, the grinder, the key check thingy, make sure you have Yoshi, blah, blah, blah. There's only one Yoshi in the whole level, so if you lose them, you have to die and get a new one. So that's pretty interesting. But yeah, so we're maintaining the general lethality of these kinds of courses, even though it's a Yoshi level. But because like it's set in a different format, it's red coin collecting, I'm trying to like help people realize two things. Yoshi levels can be hard, and the other thing is red coin collecting levels can be fun. So we're hoping that both of those messages get across to players with the making of this level is basically the goal moving forward. So if you guys want to pop in and give me suggestions on how we can improve the level, feel free to do so. I'll be streaming me developing this level on Twitch, and I might need some ideas, who knows, to finish it faster. But anyway, so two more highlights left. We have the second part, or the first part rather, of that day when I was playing Final Fantasy IV. So this was after the Lydia's Tale. The next tale was Yang's Tale. This only took 3 hours to play through, whereas I was almost 3 hours streaming the Final Fantasy IV one, and it looked like I was only halfway done. Some of these stories only take like, they actually take like 6 hours, but this was a 3-hour story. Anyway, yeah, I'm not sure if it's just my pacing or what, but anyway, that's just how the stories are. Sometimes I might be playing half as quickly. I'm not sure. The stories might be twice as long. Either way, it was pretty interesting. So, okay, this one reminded me a lot of the Lydia story because, well, actually, even now that I think about it, Theodore is the only story where it feels like the story is about Theodore. There have been 3 stories afterwards, so I feel like the story's not really about that main character. Let me explain. So the Lydia story, yes, Lydia was like the main character of the story, but it felt more like the story was revolving around the dwarf princess, whatever her name was. Let's just call her Cho-Cho because she reminds me of Cho-Cho from Naruto. Anyway, so yeah, she just feels like the main character, even though she isn't. And again, in this story, Ursula, who knows healing abilities, in this case, chakra, it's a ninja ability, she feels like the main character, even though her dad is the main character. And I mean, that's all I really have to say about that. If you want to watch the rest of the story, I don't want to say too much else. I don't want to spoil it for you. And so I'm kind of getting the impression also that Palin is not the main character in his story, but the white mage that he's training is, which is interesting. It kind of reminds me of Naruto teaching philosophy, like make the next generation, workers better than the generation that came before it. Is sort of like their philosophy, like teach them all you know, like in an efficient way, so they can build upon the basis of what you've learned and improve upon it. Like, don't hold, knowledge back from them. I think it's a pretty cool philosophy, to be honest. Anyway, and so we're seeing something like that in Final Fantasy IV, I guess, or something. I don't know. Anyway, so here's Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade. This is the very beginning of it, so I'm kind of not really out of the tutorial yet, I guess. We're about to meet up with Tifa at the end of this, so I've played for about 3 hours. But to be fair, I'm playing quite slowly. I'm talking about the game with a viewer and just to the general audience that would watch past broadcasts. Not that there's very many people. I noticed that there's not really an interest from me playing this game, and that doesn't really surprise me from the general Twitch community. But that's not going to stop me from streaming every time for 2 reasons. One, I can't really play this on my Switch anyways, so if I want to relax and play the game like in bed, I just can't, so it's never gonna happen, so I might as well stream it. And so the other reason is kind of just I want to record me playing this and look back and watch on it later. Believe it or not, Final Fantasy 7, 8, and 9 hold a special place in my heart, the original games. Even though I don't stream them, I don't like speedrun them or do challenge runs on them. I mean, I theoretically might do stuff like that from time to time if I actually owned the games, and money is just really tight. But if you guys want to donate and tell me what to spend the donation money on, you can certainly donate, some money and give me gift subs or just send me bits. Sending me bits is probably the best way to compensate me. But yeah, just like send me some money so I can just buy the game on Switch or something, and I'll do stuff like that if that's what you guys want to see. But until somebody specifically asks me to buy a game, like I'm not going to be doing that just for viewers or just for the sake of growing the stream. I'm going to continue to buy games that I want to play and games that I've already played and theoretically could stream. I'm not going to rebuy them just because they're on new hardware or whatever. Like, anyway. Yeah, I'd rather, if you guys want to talk about my experiences with older games, you can just ask, to be honest. And you know what might even end up happening is I'm probably going to make some YouTube videos talking about the old Final Fantasy games as I play the remakes. And we can just use some remake footage, I guess, of me streaming the games while I talk about the older games. Because I feel like that would be a relatively convenient way to talk about them. Obviously, it's going to take a while for the entire Final Fantasy remake series to finish. So it's going to be a while before I can start making YouTube videos about FF7 using that format. The original FF7, I mean. But I'm okay with that, to be honest. That's not such a big deal to me. I don't mind waiting. Anyway, I really have to say, the layout of the exploration of this game is extremely similar to, it's basically like a combination between Lightning Returns and Mega Dimension Neptunia V2. So Lightning Returns was a game that I played for the first time perhaps around a couple of years ago, and it was so much fun. I had a blast playing that game. It was amazing. I 100%ed it, and then I went back and 100%ed the other two games. Or actually, I may have 100%ed the second game before playing Lightning Returns. I'm not sure. But in any case, yeah, no, I think I definitely did. I think I just looked up some guides to 100% it though, which is kind of cheating, but that's fine. I didn't really need guides to 100% Lightning Returns, although I did look at a few of them just out of pure curiosity. But I was a lot more conserved about looking at guide tips and stuff. Anyways, there's a lot of combat in this game, although I'm not sure if it might just be because I'm in the tutorial or something. I feel like the combat is definitely dragging out the game time of the game, which I'm not hating, but I could see how some players might think of it as being a bit tedious. Personally, I don't mind it, at least not in the tutorial, because here in the tutorial I'm just trying to learn the game. So it's totally fine. And I suppose every time we get new characters, it might send another swarm of enemies at us, blah blah blah. Anyway, the graphics in this game are super good. And I don't think this game will ever come to Switch. At least if it does, they're gonna have to change the graphics, downsize them a lot, or else it's never gonna happen. But yeah, pretty cool game. It's running fine on my PC, I think. I don't think we're having trouble streaming it. So that's good. I think I even changed the settings because I think for some reason playing the settings on 30 FPS with default, but I changed it to 60, and it doesn't seem like there's a problem with that. Although early on, super early on, for some reason there was a couple of points in the game where it got a little choppy, but it hasn't gotten choppy ever since, or at least not that I've noticed. Anyway, it's entirely possible that it's only somewhere between 30 and 60 frames as I'm playing it, which wouldn't surprise me, but anyway, whatever. I don't really use Epic Games stores ever until I bought this game, so I don't know how to display an in-game FPS tracker thingy inside the game. So if that's possible, I would like to know how. But anyway, yeah, pretty interesting boss fight. Definitely different from the original, blah blah blah. But it's okay. It's a nice blend of stuff from previous Final Fantasy games. By the end of this, we find some armor. I think it's an iron bangle, which in the original you bought from a shopkeeper. either on your way back to see Tifa, or after you meet up with Tifa, you can do that. But I found it as loot somewhere, so that was cool. Also found quite a bit of materia as loot. Found a hit points plus materia, so I equipped that. And there's also materia that increases your defense that I guess allows you to do an area attack after you do a roll, which was helping me fight like those big shields. At least I assume it was helping with that. Anyway, blah blah blah. That's enough of that for now. I think that's done. We're done. Or 36-minute video. Alright, seems good. So today, I'm not sure if I'm going to stream or not. I probably will, but I have no idea when that will be. So yeah, keep a lookout for the next stream. It's probably gonna happen today or tomorrow at some point. Moving forward, I want to be as conscientious about my health as possible. I've had some health scaring recently because I, for some reason, didn't buy the same brand that was just fine of buckwheat. I tried buying alternative brands, and apparently some of these alternative brands have the gluten contamination in their buckwheat. So otherwise, why is my body not getting the protein it needs, right? For its muscles to continue to function normally. Well, the reason it's not getting the protein it needs is because it's gluten, and my body can't digest it. And that gluten is also messing up my digestive system, making it weird and not function normally. So there's like a double whammy. Anyways, but I'm doing a bit better now. That's why there weren't as many streams as there could have been this week. Because believe me, I would stream a lot more Levelhead and Mario Maker if only my body was up for it. I've been playing a little bit of Teamfight Tactics off stream. I guess I could show you guys a little bit about that actually to finish off the. Sometimes I show off what we were doing in RPGs. I would be playing League, but again, I don't feel confident in my ability to play League properly whatsoever on any level. What am I typing? So what was I gonna say? Yeah, like I'm not even playing Pokemon Unite or anything like that right now because it's just, you have, like, your team relies on you. I can't just, like, be like, oh my goodness, I need to use the toilet, let me BRB, like, in the middle of a team match. That's just, like, incredibly disrespectful to 9 other human beings. I'm not willing to put myself in a situation where that has a possibility of happening. Which one is this? Okay. Odyssey Karma, interesting. I'm not sure if that's a good one or not. UB's okay, I guess, but I already have Heartseeker. I wouldn't mind UB too, I guess, but anyway, you have to pay for these. I actually do have some riot points, so I could pay for some of these if I wanted. I wouldn't be able to buy 2 of the 540s though, for what it's worth, but anyway. Actually, I wonder, whatever, I'll look at that later. Well, I wanted to show you guys the thing. Let's just open this egg real quick. So this is Little Legends. This is from TFT. I usually get a Little Legend that I have no interest in using. Ooh, this one's kind of cute though. It looks like a small owl. Like Rowlet from Pokemon. So I'll show you real quick. It doesn't really matter which I click on. So the Tactician. Okay, they used to call them Little Legends, but now they call them Tacticians for some reason. I guess they renamed them. Anyway, maybe both terms apply. I'm not sure. Oh, it's because, okay, Little Legends are like the critters of the world of League of Legends, whereas Tacticians is just a broader term for the role, because originally Little Legends were the only tacticians, so it didn't make sense to invent a new word at that time. But now you can unlock champions that can take the place of a little legend. I guess they're like baby champions maybe or something, like a baby Jinx or something. It could be a tactician or maybe like a chibi Jinx or something. I'm not sure. I don't think I've unlocked any of those. So I think all of my tacticians are little legends. But I guess you could spend some sort of resources. I'm not sure if it's real life money or in-game money or what. But you could theoretically buy some. You could buy some non-little legend tacticians. So that's why that name changed. Arena skins, you get to unlock quite a few for free, but you get to unlock way more if you spend money on the game, which I have not been doing. Although it looks like there's this new resource, I'm not sure how I got some of it, which you might be able to spend on arenas, question mark, as well as maybe on booms. I might buy a boom instead. I'm not sure what boom I want, but there are a lot of different booms you can get apparently. Which is basically like when you win, your tactician like fires at the enemy tactician kind of situation, I think is how booms work. It's just like an alteration to the generic boom. Or the default boom. So these were like given us for free for playing during an event. I guess they were doing like an LGBT plus whatever on the event, and that was this was just, I don't know what this one even means. It just looked the prettiest, so I picked it. So it's called Cat's Eye. Anyway, and then we have yeah, I was just showing you guys some cool stuff. Yeah, okay, so let me just clarify. So this is proof here. So I haven't played since the 11th. So it's been about a week. So just to clarify, the reason that is because my digestive system just got really messed up from eating too much of the gluten. So I guess now they say it gets contaminated from crop rotationing with other grains that are going to have gluten, like wheat, for example, or maybe like barley or whatever. But you got to think, is it really cross-contamination, or is it more like hybridization even, potentially? Like, is that even possible? I don't know. Or like, are people that incompetent at gathering grains, you know? Like, it just confuses me. The whole concept of cross-contamination with crop rotations, like, I don't exactly know how it works, but if I had to guess, it sounds like literally every bag that we buy has some wheat in it. It just makes no sense. It's just like, I don't know. I do have to say though, like the buckwheat that I was getting that was contaminated was darker than the other kind that was not contaminated, which makes me wonder if maybe it was a darker grain that has gluten in it that was contaminating it supposedly, or whatever. Or they're just hybridizing with it or something. I don't know. Anyways, moving forward. So if you click on this tab instead of general, it goes to TFT. So then we can see my recent games. So this is what we played yesterday. I played like 3 matches. I got first once, fourth, and sixth. So that's overall doing pretty well, I would say. I'm not sure if I did as well on the 15th or not, but anyway, I've climbed to, I think, gold 3 at the moment, which is pretty cool. Anyway, you don't get, I think they need to update these tabs. There's a few problems with that, the way they are right now. For one thing, we cannot see augments during this season, so they didn't update it for the current season, which is kind of a problem. I mean, technically you still have like the tooltips and stuff, they just didn't expand what it's capable of showing you. Another way they didn't expand what it's capable of showing you, which I would like them to do, which they don't necessarily have to do, was to let us see what the other players have for their build. They only show the one player's build. And if you click at this, see, it does show only your build, but once you click on it, then you can go in and see other people's builds. and you can even like look at their runes and stuff. In fact, well, now I can only see my runes, but if I click in here and then we click on perhaps like this Tom Kench's profile, we can go look for his game played, and if it isn't in the past 20, if it's in the past 20 games, I should say, which it probably isn't going to be because it's been 6 days from now, but if it had been, then we can click on his profile, go to match history, go click on his game, let's just pretend it was this one, and yeah, then we go, and then now we can see his runes and stuff. Anyways, where was I? So yeah, a little bit more information in both of those ways. Showing the new augments for the new series would be really cool, and then showing what the other players' builds are. But I think these two features would be really appreciated. Also, another feature which would be much bigger than that and potentially a lot harder to deliver would be to give us replays. I would love TFT replays, honestly. But anyway, it's not really a big deal. I guess that's about it. Alright, there's nothing else to talk about. Like, I don't remember playing other games, to be honest, this week, other than what we already played. If there was anything, I forgot. Oh yeah, I'm about to play some Picross right now, maybe. While I go see what Icky Brady's up to. So, I'll catch up with you guys later. Stay tuned for next week. We'll have another video, either on Thursday or Friday, released of What Did You Miss? And I might work on some more YouTube videos today, and I might stream instead, or it might even do both, but no promises on any of that.